The cameras were rolling. The royal family was smiling. The world saw perfection. But then, something unexpected happened. Princess Leonor, the future Queen of Spain, faltered. For a split second, her calm broke. And before anyone else could react, her sister, Princess Sofia, stepped forward. A simple gesture. A protective act. But it melted every heart that witnessed it. This was no ordinary moment. It was instinct. It was love. It was the bond that crowns and titles could never define. Because before she was Spain's future queen, Leonor was simply Sofia's sister. And that day, the world saw what that truly meant. The event took place at a national ceremony in Madrid, an important day for the royal family. Leonor, dressed in her crisp military uniform, stood tall beside her parents and sister. The crowd was silent. The cameras clicked. Every move mattered. Every expression was history. But then, something went wrong. As Leonor stepped forward to greet a group of officials, her heel caught on the carpet. She stumbled, just slightly, but in a moment like that, even the smallest slip could become tomorrow's headline. The gasp from the audience was instant. But before the king, before the guards, before anyone could move, Sofia reached out, steady, sure, protective. Her hand caught Leonor's arm just in time. A whisper passed between them. "I've got you," Sofia said. Leonor's smile returned, faint but real. Cameras captured it all. The world saw the heir and her sister, side by side, not as royalty but as family. Within hours, the footage spread like wildfire. Sofia protects Leonor. The moment that melted Spain. The royal sisters show their true bond. But behind the headlines was a story much deeper than one public act of protection. It was a story of a bond forged in silence, two sisters who grew up in the shadow of a throne, learning how to be royal without losing how to be human. Leonor was born with duty. From the moment she took her first steps, she was Spain's future. Sofia, though younger, became her anchor. While Leonor carried the expectations of a nation, Sofia carried the understanding of a sister who would never let her walk alone. Those close to the family often say that Sofia has always been Leonor's quiet strength. When Leonor gave her first public speech at 13, Sofia stood backstage, mouthing the words with her, just in case her sister forgot them. When Leonor left for boarding school in Wales, Sofia slipped a folded note into her bag that read, "Be brave. You're not alone." That small act, like the one in Madrid, wasn't born from training. It was born from love. But what the world saw that day was more than sisterly affection. It was a rare, unscripted moment of vulnerability inside one of Europe's most disciplined monarchies. After the ceremony, when the family returned to Zarzuela Palace, insiders say the queen was deeply moved. "That's who they are," Letizia reportedly told her husband. "Leonor leads. Sofia protects." King Felipe nodded. "They'll need each other more than we ever did," he said quietly. Because the truth is, being royal isn't easy. The world only sees the gowns, the crowns, the grace. But behind the smiles are endless expectations, pressures, and eyes that never look away. Leonor, now in her military phase of royal training, faces constant scrutiny. Every gesture, every glance, every word is analyzed. And Sofia, she's the one who reminds her that she's still allowed to laugh, still allowed to stumble, still allowed to be human. During one of Leonor's parades in Zaragoza, the crowd began chanting her name, Leonor. Leonor, and she smiled proudly. But it was Sofia, standing in the background, who noticed how tight her sister's hands had become, how her breath quickened. When the event ended, Sofia leaned in and whispered, "Breathe. You did it. It's always been that way." Where Leonor feels the weight of destiny, Sofia feels the pulse of the moment. Where Leonor is measured, Sofia is instinctive. One carries Spain's future, the other carries her sister's heart. That balance is what makes their bond extraordinary, and what made that protective act so powerful. Because in that second, when Sofia reached out to steady Leonor, she wasn't thinking about cameras or protocol. She was thinking about the girl she used to race through the palace gardens with. The sister who shared secrets under the covers. The one who cried when Leonor left for military school. And the moment that the world called royal perfection was, in truth, something much more human. It was sisterhood. After the ceremony, a royal aide revealed something that touched everyone who heard it. Leonor, still emotional from the day, walked into Sofia's room late that night. She didn't say a word, just hugged her. When she finally spoke, her voice cracked slightly. "Thank you," she said, "for always catching me." Sophia's answer was simple. "You'd do the same for me." The next morning, the royal family appeared on the balcony of the palace. The king waved. The queen smiled. But all eyes were on the sisters. Leonor and Sophia stood side by side again. This time, their hands brushed for just a second. It was subtle, but intentional. The message was clear. Whatever comes, whatever pressure, whatever future, Leonor would never face it alone. In the months that followed, their closeness only deepened. During the national celebration of the Spanish armed forces, Leonor, now more confident in her military role, was asked by a reporter how she handled the weight of responsibility at her age. She paused, looked at her sister standing nearby, and said softly, "I don't do it alone." It was a small sentence that spoke volumes. For Sophia, protecting Leonor isn't about heroism. It's about love, the kind of love that expects nothing in return. And for Leonor, being protected isn't about weakness. It's about trust, the kind of trust that only a sister can earn. The world may see a future queen in her sibling. But what they really saw that day in Madrid was the foundation of something much greater, a reminder that behind every symbol of power lies a story of care, compassion, and connection. When history looks back on the reign of Queen Leonor, it may remember her speeches, her leadership, her diplomacy. But there will also be that clip, the stumble, the hand, the moment her sister caught her before the fall. Because that second said more about the Spanish crown than 1,000 royal ceremonies ever could. It said, "We are human. We love. We protect." And for millions watching across the world, that's what made it unforgettable. Princess Sophia's act of protection wasn't just a gesture, it was a declaration. That even in a world built on titles and crowns, the truest form of royalty will always be the kind that comes from the heart. And that day, the heart of Spain beat in perfect unison, with two sisters standing hand in hand, proving that love, not power, is what truly makes a queen.